Hey everybody, welcome back to my studio, welcome back to my channel. Well, it's spring here in Western Canada, or I guess in all the Northern Hemisphere. It's now the second day of spring, and with spring is warmer weather. With warmer weather, guess what? People want to start taking pictures. Now, whether you're an individual that wants to take some family pictures at graduations or weddings or family pictures, family vacations, whatever, or if you're a professional, whether you're a wildlife photographer that's just starting to get out for the year, or a nature photographer that's just coming out of hibernation and going out and starting to shoot pictures, or whether you're a professional a wedding photographer, graduation photographer, real estate photographer. There's some things that you can do before you start taking pictures to make sure that you have the least amount of problems and that you get the best images possible. So for 2023, I'm going to go through a quick checklist here of 5 things that you can do with your camera right now before you get stuck, before you have problems, and make sure that you have the least amount of problems possible. Now, how do I know there's problems? Because Friday afternoons, Friday evenings, even in the middle of the night, even early Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I get phone calls from people having problems. And I'll check my messages, and there'll be bizarre messages on there saying, help, help this, help. And it's bizarre. People in the middle of nowhere is wanting to know where to buy a new camera card because their camera card's full. People with batteries that are crashing, that aren't holding the charge. People phoning me saying, my camera's not focusing properly, my camera's not working properly. People, it's too late when you're taking the pictures, especially if you're a professional. So here's 5 things that you can do in 2023 in the springtime before we get busy with family events, with professional events, before we head out doing nature and wildlife photography to make sure that you have the least amount of problems and that you get the best pictures possible. Number 1, download all the images off your camera card or cards and format your camera card in your camera so that it's completely empty, or buy some additional camera cards. So many times people try to keep all the pictures on their camera cards and they don't realize how full it is. They go to an event like a wedding, they shoot 3 pictures and their camera card's full. Then they go, well, should I start deleting pictures or should I? No, delete them, format your card, get them off of there before the event. If you don't want to do that, buy new camera cards. Now, if your camera card is has been used at all, take the images off and then format the card in your camera. This will save you from having issues. It will save a lot of times from your camera card becoming corrupted, especially if it's quite old and you've used it quite a bit. Format the camera card in your camera after you've got your pictures off and backed up on your computer. Number 2, another big one. Charge your camera battery. Make sure, 1, you know where the battery charger is. 2, that the battery will actually charge. Then put it in your camera and use your camera for a while. Do the things I'm going to suggest after this, and then go and do some extra pictures or play with it around the house to make sure that the battery is holding the charge. If you doubt your battery is good anymore, go out and buy a second battery. Charge it up. Whether you want to use it exclusively or you want to have it as a backup. It only costs $40, $50, $60 to buy a second-hand or a second battery. And you don't have to buy a name brand battery. You can buy another brand battery. So get a battery, get it so it's charged. If you're not confident with it, if you're got any questions whatsoever, buy a backup battery and go from there. Number 3, go into your camera and reset everything back to factory specs. Now, if you have custom settings, write them down before you do this. Once you've written it down, once you know that you've got them saved, then go in and format your camera. Why do I say this? Why do I want you to reset your camera back to custom settings? Because so many times people adjust their camera and they don't realize what they've done. They go in and change something. I can put my hand up too and say, yeah, it's happened to me. It's happened to me more than once where I've changed it for one event, then I forget to put it back. Go in, reset your camera to factory settings. If you have custom settings you want to put into it, go and put them in afterwards. Number 4, take some pictures. Doesn't have to be a lot of pictures. Take a few pictures. Put those images on your computer and check them. Make sure they're in focus. That means the lens focusing. Make sure they're exposed properly. That means that you got things set up properly. Make sure there's not a huge amount of dust on the images. Make sure that the camera is working properly. Doesn't have to be a lot of pictures. Shoot a few. That's all you have to do. Put them on your computer, zoom into them, make sure they look good. Number 5, similar to what number 4 was, but go out and take a lot of pictures with whatever you're going to be shooting later. So if you're a nature photographer, take your camera, go outside and shoot a whole bunch of pictures. If you're shooting pictures of people, shoot some people around your house. Photograph a doll if you have a doll, a dog, your wife, your husband. Photograph your kids, photograph your parents, whatever. And then make sure that you remember how to take those pictures. So many times during the wedding season, when wedding seasons start, wedding photographers will say the worst weddings are the first 1 or 2 weddings of the year. After being completely comatose for 4 months or 5 months and not even thinking about wedding pictures, all of a sudden you're thrown into this and you have to remember all of your settings. You have to remember the tricks you had for the different lenses, for your different lighting, for all that stuff. And the first few weddings takes a little bit to get used to. Well, it's even worse if you are a person that very seldom takes pictures, but you want to take some great pictures at your kid's graduation or your kid's wedding. Take the time to try your camera to make sure you remember how to use it, the different settings. Make sure you have all the accessories. If you have a quick release for your tripod and you want to use your tripod, make sure you got your quick release. Make sure you know where it is. If you have special lenses or filters and stuff, make sure that they're there. Make sure that everything's packed away for you. By doing these 5 things, it'll save a lot of trouble, and it'll save me a lot of headaches of answering phone calls at all hours of the day and night with people complaining that they're having issues. So go out there, take a little time now, get things going, get things running properly so you can have better pictures later on. So until next time, have a great day. Get out there and take some amazing pictures, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.